Well, good morning.
Good morning.
And happy Sabbath to you. The ones that were in my class this morning, I don't want you to answer this. What was the last thing that God created? The ones in my, no, the ones in my class, I don't want you to answer. I know you know. What was the last thing He created? No. Yes. No. Yes, Joshua. No. Okay, my class can answer. What was the last thing that God created?
The Sabbath.
The Sabbath day. And what did He do to the Sabbath day? He made it holy and He sanctified it. And that's why we're here today on God's holy Sabbath day, right? Right? Yes. Okay, this story is about forgiving. Have you had to forgive someone before? Has someone have they had to forgive you before?
Yes.
Yes, me too. Does it make you feel good to be forgiven?
Yes.
How about when you forgive someone, does it make you feel good to forgive them?
Yes.
Okay, this is about Jackson. He was listening to his pastor, Jackson, tell a story, but his mind kept wandering to Clayton. Clayton was a bully. And Clayton was a bully. He wasn't really kind. And Jackson was remembering the fact that Clayton had pushed him, when they were going into church this morning, pushed him out of the way. And he was thinking about that. So he was listening to Pastor Jackson talk about when he was their age. He said, I hated this kid named Mike. I avoided him whenever I could. My nose tingled every time I saw him because he had punched me in the nose once. Oh. He was much bigger than I was because Pastor Jackson was a real skinny runt of a kid. Little bitty thing, just skinny. It's hard to believe that Pastor Jared used to be so skinny, thought Jackson. I can't imagine him hating anyone. But he hated Clayton. And I can't imagine he's so kind and loving to the kids. Just then Jackson noticed that Pastor Jared's right shoulder was bulging under his jacket. There's something on your shoulder, Pastor Jared. Jackson yelled, and he pointed. Other kids shouted out the same thing. Pastor Jared looked at his shoulder and announced, no, there's nothing there. He went on with his story. In high school, I got so big, and I thought I could take care of Mike. I remember Pastor Jared didn't like Mike. He hated Mike because Mike had hit him where?
In the nose.
In the nose. He thought he could take care of Mike because he was bigger. I didn't really see him much and was glad, but I still hated him for punching me in the nose in grade school. The hate wouldn't leave me. One day when I was in college, who did he run into?
Mike.
He ran into Mike. He saw him in the hallway carrying a load of books and coming his way. Hi, Jared, Mike said. I'm glad to see you. He held out his hand for a handshake. Of course, Pastor Jared didn't feel like shaking his hand. He was still holding on to his hate. But slowly and cautiously, he put his hand out for Mike to shake it. At that moment, he asked Jesus for help to forgive Mike. Because what had Mike done to him?
Punched him in the nose.
How long ago?
They was little.
When they were little, that's right. And then, boom, bang, boom, I was set free from unforgiveness because he hadn't forgiven Mike, but now he had. Not only that, but they became really good friends. Can you imagine them being friends after him getting punched in the nose and then hating him for so long? But they did become friends. So at that time, Jackson looked at Clayton, who he hated because what had Clayton done to him? Had pushed him going into the sanctuary. And Clayton did the same. I'm sorry that I shoved you in line coming in here, he said. Jackson said, it's okay. Pastor Jared continued, and that's not all. Years passed, and again, I hadn't seen Mike, but one day I was stopped by a police officer for speeding. It seemed as if every person in church at that morning said, uh-oh. Listen, said Pastor. It was Mike. Mike was the police officer. I said, Mike, you're a police officer. Good for you and bad for me, because Pastor Jared had been doing what?
Speeding.
He had been speeding. He said, Jared, hi there. You've been speeding. How have you been? Good, Jared said. Sorry about the speed. he said to me, don't drive so fast. And guess what? He didn't give Pastor Jared a ticket. Pastor Jared told the people, he said, I really believe that if I still had held unforgiveness in my heart, Mike, the police officer, would have given him a ticket. Then Pastor Jared opened up his jacket. There was a cup sitting on his shoulder. He grabbed it and held it up. This cup represents unforgiveness. When you have unforgiveness in your heart, you don't recognize it. You don't see it. Like he didn't recognize the cup that was under his jacket. But when you do recognize it, you must ask Jesus to help you to get rid of it. Get rid of the unforgiveness. So if someone's done something to you, get rid of the unforgiveness. And you know what? If they've done something to you, sometimes they may not even ask for forgiveness. But it's best that we still forgive them and get rid of it. You have to ask Jesus to help you get rid of it. Otherwise, it would twist you like it did me, Pastor Jared said. It would turn into bitterness and angriness. So, let's pray. Jackson added his own prayer to Pastor Jared's prayer. Please, God, keep me from unforgiveness no matter what. He grinned and then finished his prayer. It might just keep me from getting a ticket someday. Okay, that doesn't mean that when you start driving you need to speed because you're forgiven, okay? You're not going to speed when you start driving. So the best thing to do is when someone's done something to you, what do you do? But what if they don't say they're sorry? Do you
still forgive them.
You still forgive them. They may not know that you've forgiven them, but you'll know and God will know. Okay, so now let's get ready to have prayer. Joshua, you going to pray first? Very good. Let's stand up. We get ready for prayer. All right, let's close our eyes. Okay, wait. No, coming up. Get ready for prayer. Okay. You want to pray too? Okay. Listen. She can go first. Oh, you're such a gentleman. Okay. Amen.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for waking us up this morning, and thank you for waking us up on this Sabbath, and thank you for this Saturday, and tomorrow we may rest, and thank you for making the Sabbath and making the world and making everyone. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.